Hello everybody. Hello potters. Potters and people. Well, what I'm doing is right now I'm just finishing off one or two items, and one of them is an olive oil jar, and I've got to pull a handle. So just going to get on and do that. I've got some clay here, got some water, so I'm going to pull down this clay. So, dee. So the handle that I need is not a very big handle for this olive oil jar. What I want to do is just quickly pull this handle first. All right. There he is. So when you pull a handle, all right, get something good to hold on to here at the top. All right. I always like give it a few hits because I like to make it look like one of those. I know it doesn't look exactly like that, but it's a railroad spike, you see. So I usually hold it and hit it like that, which makes the head here sort of mushroom out. So I've got something to hold on to. And then you want to pull down probably a good amount of clay, as you can see I've got here. All right. And it should be tapering, you see, from the top, tapering down. Now, just a few quick tips about pulling handles, okay? Make sure the handle is thoroughly wet, and your hand. That's rule number one. Rule number two, when you squeeze and when you pull, make sure you pull right off the end, okay? Right off the end. And then you're going to use different hand postures, like that, and then turn it in your hand as well. So you're alternating, you see. There you are, a few tips for you. Okay, so we're going to take this now and lay it down here on our wear board and cut him off with the thumb vertically. So let's do one more, because whenever I pull handles, I never just pull one at a time. I usually always do a spare, because it's so easy just to pull one more, isn't it? It's a lot easier than having to get all your clay out again and do one when you've put everything away. Okay, there's another one. Lay him on the board, pull him to the edge, and with the thumb straight down. Okay, what we're going to do is I'm just going to put these handles. So I want you to notice here, you see the end here. It's like at right angles to the handle. La 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 la. So while I'm doing that, or while that is hardening off, I'll just move this. Let's just move a little closer, and you can see there I've got it's an upside down olive oil jar, and I've put it into a tankard. So, well, that's a funny thing to do, Simon. Why would you want to do that? Well, it's just a convenient. It's just basically I'm using it as a chuck, you see. So I've already centered this up pretty much. I'm now going to use trim tool and I'm just going to, I wanted to remove a little bit of the clay because I wasn't quite, whoa. Wasn't quite happy with the shape at the bottom here, and I wanted to just bring it in a touch. Just wanted to narrow the foot, you see. As you can see, this one is a slippery customer. I needn't have done this really, but I just... it's picked up a bit of grog, the trim tool. So I'm just going to take my spatula. Sometimes this happens, doesn't it? When you trim, it picks up the grog, and I don't like that. Not on this sort of pot, anyway. So I'm just closing the pores of the clay where the trim tool has. All right. So this is I actually made this during a last workshop. We had a little demo and I made a little olive oil jar. So, and I've got here, I made a couple of little stoppers to go in. In fact, I made two because the first one I made I thought was going to be a little bit too fat, a bit too big. So I'm just fettling off this stopper here, you see. So that the stopper, you see, the stopper has got like a tapered form to it, so that it, wherever it locates on the side of the stopper here, wherever it locates in the throat of the, it will seal it, you see, reasonably well. Okay, so what we need to do now is I'm going to get my banding wheel, because I always like to put on handles on a banding wheel. So let's go and get those handles. They haven't been outside for long, have they? La 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 la. Dee, dee, dee. So there's our olive oil jar, and here are the handle. Now we're going to take one of these handles and put it on. Let's just make sure we are in the picture. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is, like, you know, the last video I did, I think we were putting handles on, weren't we? Anyway, we're just going to wet it, you see, just on the top of the lip here, opposite the pouring spout, and I'm using my fingernail there, creating the slip there, a keyed area for the handle to stick. We're going to take one of these handles, release the handle from the board, going to hold the handle in the left hand and use the knuckle of my right thumb to splay the end where it's going to join, the joining end here, the thick end of the handle, you see, here. I'm going to take that and push it into the body of the pot. Of course, it's very important to keep it supported. And now I'm going to use my index finger and thumb just to make the join. You'll notice I'm keeping the handle up. All right, don't let it fall down. Ah, where's my water pot? Okay, let's get my water. By the way, folks, these trim tools, I've got a few left if anybody's interested. They're not bad, they work quite well. So we're going to cut that, drop that, into the water. Like that. And pull the handle off the side. Like I'm doing. Now you can add a decorative feature with, if you've got a fingernail, which I've cut my fingernails, so it may not work, but you stick my thumbnail in and pull it down, and it just makes a bit of a decorative feature there on the outside of the handle. So wet the handle, now let it fall. Make sure the join is good underneath, okay, and also on top. And also make sure the handle is opposite the spout or the pouring lip. Now, you know, a narrow necked pot like that in the firing will do up. It will twist, the neck will twist. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the handle very slightly to the left, okay, because when it's twisted a little bit, the handle will then be straight. So taking my thumb, making a fishtail ending here, lift his tail up and flick him off. So we want to keep the end here fairly fresh looking, keep the clay fresh looking, so we don't go over it too many times there. We just like to do it once, twice and 3 times and leave it at that. Okay. And there it is. There's the finished. Well, he's not quite finished actually, because what I usually do is, see if I can do it. I take a fluting tool. Like this, and I'm going to carve into the front here an olive branch. So So I carved into the clay which we can put a little iron oxide into that and wipe it off when it's in its bisque state. There you are. You can see it's just an olive branch, which and a couple of olives. Just a little motif to get a seal. So when you have a pot like this, you can think to yourself, well, do you want to put the seal right on the bottom or perhaps just underneath the handle? I think I'm going to put it underneath the handle actually in this case. If you have a personal seal, I think a personal seal is better than a scratch. So there he is. I've done a couple of other ones here. They've already dried out, but just to show you. So have a go at a narrow-necked form like that, and you'll find it's not as difficult as you might think, and quite fun. I think this one I did is a little fatter, isn't it? A little more bulbous. Okay, folks. Let's move the camera back a touch. Just wanted to say, please go to my website, simonleachpottery.com, and have a look. Upcoming workshops, I'm going to be at the Chestertown Arts Centre, which is in Maryland, and up on the Chesapeake Bay, and that's going to be at the end of the month, 27th and 28th. So please, anyway, go to my website. You can see their upcoming workshops, and there's information there about that. So if you're in the Chestertown, Maryland area, and if you want to join us for a workshop there, you want to get in touch with Gia from the Chestertown. I think it's the Chestertown River Arts Centre, I think it's called, I'm not sure. But anyway, the details are on the website, so check it out. And I think they may have some spaces left on that workshop. So, anyway, nothing more to say other than, as usual, let's all keep practicing. Hey, I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.